All right. Welcome in. This is Toilets to Titles. This is our Sunday weekly roundtable. We catch up on all the things going on in training camp, preseason, the news, and the notes. And we're always joined by a decent group of our guys here at Toilets to Titles. And tonight, man, I think we're above decent. We got a very solid group this evening. Some guys I am very happy to see. I got my man who I drove out to Canton with. We had a blast. All right. We didn't have enough pumpkin spice, but that's all right, because now it's pumpkin spice season. That's my man Joe at JoeJ_Clark on the Twitter. How we doing, Joe?
I'm doing great, Coach. Everyone, good to be here. Good to be back on screen. It's been a little bit while, so I'm definitely looking to get back into practice and talk some football. The football season is nearly upon us. We're this close. We're in our middle of our preseason games now, so not much further to go, and I'm just looking forward to talk some football.
It's funny, because you've had like your periods where you're busy with work. We all have our times where we're like super busy with Toilets to Titles, and then we're super busy with work going on. And it's just funny because we're getting ready for the season to start. Now you're getting ready to get back into Toilets to Titles, but also we're getting ready for the off season. Me and you, we just started a big project. So very soon on toiletstotitles.com, there's going to be on the website an NFL draft tab. Thanks to Shane Hallam at draftcountdown.com. We got his top 150. We're going to start breaking down these players. Eventually, we'll break down all 150. After that, maybe halfway, 3/4 of the way through the college football season, we'll start doing big boards, mock drafts. So we're going to be we're already looking forward into the off season.
We're going to be really, really ready with a bunch load of content for the next draft season for next NFL draft.
Yeah, man, it doesn't stop. So we have everything covered for you. And we have an award winner with us this evening too, man. And he won the Eagle Award down there in Las Vegas. He was down there to celebrate. This dude, we haven't seen him too much on screen because he has been so busy in the real world just getting stuff done, man. It's at Frito Bandito _FF Rich. How we doing?
I'm doing great. That wasn't the real award. When you said the eagle, I forgot to bring it up. It's downstairs, but my son has an eagle right there, so it worked out perfectly. So,
man, I like that one too.
It's foreshadowing. When he got you that eagle, it was destiny.
Yeah, no, man, it's been a great week and stuff like that. Drafts, this is a time where we're all doing our home drafts and everything. Did one today, got one going on next week. So I love drafting even beforehand, 2-3 months out, like what we normally do in some of the other leagues. But then when you get to your home drafts and everything, they're just a little bit special and stuff like that when you're hanging out with the guys, you know?
Yeah, I know Justin just had his, man. And every single mock draft, we do a lot of mock drafts. Maybe not as much this season as we did in the first two seasons, because I feel like it's kind of weak. Like they fill in for, weeks where you have gaps. You can do mock drafts because everybody loves mock drafts. They're a lot of fun. This year we haven't done as much because we really haven't had many gaps because we have so much going on, which Tuesday night we're doing our bathroom board, by the way. But every mock draft we did, Justin made me put him in at 12 so he could prepare for his home league draft, man. So I also looked at it. He went Zeke and Barkley back to back from the 12 spot. I feel really good about that. I'm proud of him. He also got Jalen Waddle. So I feel like I kind of he heard me over and over and over again talking about those guys, and he went ahead and drafted them. But also, lastly this evening, last but not least, number one Broncos fan in the house at Dirty Jobs 21. He has also been killing it. This dude has been crushing it, and it is very good to see you this evening, Mike. How we doing?
Not too bad. It's actually good to be on. It's been about a month since I've actually was able to get some time available and get on the radio here. And man, it's been nice. It's been really nice to be back, and I'm getting pretty excited for the football season. So I'm pretty excited about tonight too.
Man, we're less than 3 weeks. I want to say we're like 18 days away. 18 days, man. It's going to get real. And my team, the Dallas Cowboys, week 1, we play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And right now it's kind of cloudy. Like last year we played Tampa, and the way I felt going into it was I feel like it would have been a bad thing if we won. And the reason I say that is I thought we'd get too far ahead of ourselves if we beat the Bucs, and it might not, for a young team. This year, I don't know who we're going to face because Tom Brady, he's MIA. Does anybody have any idea when this dude is coming back?
Yeah, they actually said he should be returning this week. It was actually talking about it on Twitter today. I saw where they plan on being back this week, so he should be good to go. But being gone 2 weeks, look, a lot of stuff has happened to his team since with him being gone and everything. So got to get into the flow of things. So
right. Yeah. I mean, Chris Godwin's been running around. He should be ready to go. Mike Evans, he tweaked his hamstring, I believe, but he should be all right. But they got a young tight end, and I believe his name is Cade Otton, who maybe by mid-season they'll be clicking. I'm sure him and Brady, but it's gonna be Cameron Brate out the gate. I see Leonard Fournette's getting into fights. Him and Jeffrey Simmons got into a fight at their joint practice. So the Buccaneers, it'll be very interesting to see what they do week 1. But gentlemen, before we get into this week's news, notes, all that good stuff, even though we touched on a little bit right now, which of y'all are watching House of Dragons this evening on HBO? Rich, talk about it, man.
Man, when Games of Thrones came out and everything, I wasn't really into it and everything. I think I didn't even watch till like 5th season and stuff like that. And then it was just like, that's all you heard people talking about all the time. So then I said, okay, I got to see what this is all about. So you start from season 1, you start working your way. I don't think I've been more hyped about a spinoff of the same series and stuff like that as I am about this one. So this is going to be ones I'm watching every time it comes out. I'm going to start doing watch parties. Heck, I don't know.
What was your favorite? Who was your favorite character in Game of Thrones?
Oh man, the little girl. I can't think of her name, man. The one
Arya
that just
Stark.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm bad with names. I'm bad remembering quotes from movies, so never ask me questions like that. But
I liked Arya and the Hound. I liked their thing that they had, kind of the father daughter. Joe, what about you? You're gonna. I know you don't have HBO yet. All right, so I'll tell you how it is, but you're gonna sign up. Go ahead.
Right. So I think we will have to sign up because my wife and I were really, really huge fans of the original Game of Thrones. I didn't like the last season, the final season. I think like most people, I felt like it was too much cramped into one season.
Yeah. How are you going to build up for however many seasons a war? Like winter is coming. There's going to be a battle, and then you finish it. That battle happens and finishes in one episode.
Yeah.
Just sacks the whole entire Dothraki army. Like it's just like, oh, they're gone. Like, oh well,
done.
Like no big deal. They weren't a big part of the storyline, anyways, right?
And you know what? And it's kind of like after that too. It felt like the final battle against what's her name, the queen Cersei. At the time, Cersei. It just felt kind of like a letdown, to be honest with you.
She was the only character I felt
she was awesome
that stayed true to form. Yeah. She did not. She was in that chamber.
I guess in a bad way. Everyone else
basically gave everybody else the finger in her deathbed, and that was very on par with her character.
Yeah, everyone else who made it to the end of the series had pretty much transformed one way or another. And I didn't like the route that they took with what's her name, the dragon
Daenerys.
Queen, Daenerys. Yeah, I didn't like the route, like the whole crazy thing. I know that ran in her family, but I really didn't see that with her until the end, to the last season. And I'm like, I just didn't like it myself. I love this series. I read all the books. I thought it was fantastic. I just didn't like the final season. However, I am looking forward to the upcoming prequel series, whatever you want to call it. So I am looking forward to that. So yes,
what about you, Mike?
Get HBO Max.
I'm pretty excited. I've been waiting for this for a while. There's a lot of other spin-offs I'd prefer to see over this, but this is going to be pretty cool. I hope that it's at least tells the story well. And I'm with you guys. Like the ending of that, like goodness sakes, like it was just so disheartening to have them have that such a good buildup. I mean, like I was with Rich. I mean, I was the guy that got in there. Probably actually season 5, I think, is when I started, because I do know that now keep in mind, I've missed 2 days of work since 1998. Okay. Like I don't miss work. That's not something I do.
Slacking, man. 2 days.
I was sick for a whole week so I could watch Game of Thrones and catch up on Game of Thrones. That's how into it I was. I was like, oh my God, man, I can't go to work thinking about this. So I missed a whole actual week of work to watch it. This was, like I said, about 5-10 years ago now. So, but yeah, I loved it. I was hooked, and I was very disappointed with the ending. So hopefully they make up for it here.
So I'm sorry, I was cringing. I just saw a tweet about Kayvon Thibodeau. Joe, go into the message group and watch it. All of you guys. It's gross.
Torn ACL, broken bones all over the place.
I don't know. He got cut. Kayvon Thibodeau against, what are they playing, the Bengals?
Bengals? Yeah.
Yeah. Supposedly he was walking back to the locker room. Hopefully he's okay. You can't tell which way his knee bends. If it bends in, not good. If he turned and bent, he'll be okay. You know, you hate to see a young guy like that in preseason.
Yeah, doesn't look good. It's on the side.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea, but it's like, I don't know. As a Giants fan, I'm just kind of used to this stuff. So I'd be shocked if like a promising young player wasn't injured in preseason before. Yeah. So it's just, we'll see what happens. What are you going to do?
It's a shame. Well, hopefully we have news before the end of the episode that everything is all right. But yeah, Mike was talking about other spinoffs. I supposedly there's a Jon Snow one. I don't know if that was a joke. I'm excited, but I'm also, the writers, they did a good job for the most part. So I'm interested to see more of these stories. And then if it doesn't work out, we got the Lord of the Rings series coming like September 2nd. So if Game of Thrones doesn't work out, that should be all right. So guys, I do want to mention, have any of you been watching Matt was saying there was a rumor that Brady was in The Masked Singer. I think Matt's goofing on us. I think he's bluffing. Joe, is he bluffing?
I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know Matt well enough to call whether or not he's bluffing.
I think Matt's bluffing. What do you
think? That's a bluff. Yeah. That's a bluff.
Yeah, that's a bluff. All right. Have you guys, any of you guys watched the top 100 on the NFL Network? Have you guys been keeping track of that? Rich, go ahead.
Here and here. I only keep track of the Raiders that have come out and everything. So,
of course.
You have Darren Waller, Carr, freaking Waller. I can't think of his name. Defensive end. They were all within the top 50, 60. Got 4 of them in that span and everything. I'm kind of surprised Hunter Renfrow didn't make it. But still waiting for my boy Adams to be called in the top 5, top 10. So
George just said Kayvon Thibodeau being called. We just discussed that. We just saw it. So I got Twitter pulled up. So hopefully he is all right. Hopefully it's nothing crazy. And if it is
carted off, huh?
Yeah.
See you next year, Kayvon.
Right.
Looking forward to it.
And who's going to be a quarterback? They're probably going to have dang. All right. Well, all right. Any of you guys have any drafts going on? It's redraft season right now. So George is very happy to see Dirty Jobs, as we all are, man. We missed his face. I feel like me and Mike were like a tag team from like April to like June. We were out here grinding, man. So it's so glad to have him back on here. But Rich, did you have your home league draft recently?
Yeah, I had one today. It was at Twin Peaks. We always have one there every year and everything. So last night they released the draft order and I had the 12th spot. So before I went to bed last night, I was talking with people trying to get trades to move up and everything. To me, the sweet spot is like 5 and 6 this year for me because it's just the way I want to draft. Well, I got the 4th spot. So him and me flopped. Get to the draft today and this new guy comes walking in and he goes, man, I don't want to draft from my spot. And I go, what spot you got? And he goes, I got the number 1 overall. And I go, hey, I'll trade you. So we end up flipping. So I went from 12, 4 to 1.
What did you give up to get him?
Nothing. We just flopped.
Oh, it's just redraft.
Yeah, just redraft. Okay. We just flipped
That's
spots
cool.
and everything. So so ended up with Taylor. Obviously, that's who you're going to pick. And then came back, wrapped around. I got Barkley on the swing. And then I also went A.J. Brown. So started out real strong as far as that aspect. I teamed up Cortland Sutton and Russell Wilson. Shout out to you, Mike. I was thinking of you when I made those picks. And then I followed it in late rounds with some rookie picks that might have some value towards the end of the season. So,
what about you, Mike or Joe? Either of you guys have any drafts going on right now?
No, most of mine are happening next weekend and the week after here. I don't have any going on right now, but and this, seeing the Thibodeau injury, that's Thibodeau, whatever. I'm pretty happy about that kind of thing, because that kind of stuff happens to the offensive players too. So.
Yeah,
I'm pretty excited to not be drafting, but that sounds like a great draft, Rich. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. And then also shout out again to our guy, Justin, for killing it in his home league, man. 12th pick, Zeke and Barkley. I like that pairing. All right, let's touch on some news. So Mike, this is actually pretty big for you, or decent news. Broncos, solid in the secondary, solid in the defensive line. They got some young linebackers. Josie Jewell, I guess, is the veteran now. I think Baron Browning is there from Ohio State. Now they go ahead, they sign Joe Schobert. So what are your thoughts on the Joe Schobert signing and how that could help the Broncos defense?
I think what they're saying is like they don't have a lot of faith in the rookies that they grabbed. I think it was Nick Benito this year.
Benito, yep.
Yeah, Benito. Like I think he had a lot of high expectations, but I'm thinking like maybe we're not seeing those high expectations hitting exactly to home, getting this signing right here. They're obviously lost a little bit of faith there if they're drafting some veteran help, which is probably a good thing. You know, this is a huge, fast thing, the NFL. And so having to get up to that kind of speed, it should probably take a guy more than a year. You do see a lot more on the defensive side of the ball. You see a lot more adaptation happening fast, you know, within the first year on a lot of these guys. But the Broncos just need the help. And, you know, having a lot of depth on that team is going to be something that might help them out a lot, too, because they have seemed a lot more injury prone over the past few years.
Yeah, well, Schobert, he's been around the block. He's a tackling machine. He had a few really strong years with Cleveland, I believe. Then I think he went to Pittsburgh. So he's also a veteran. I think Baron Brown is going to be all right. I think he's going to be good. I think Nick Benito, I want to say he's a pass rusher too. So I think Schobert's, you know, more so going to be in the middle. He's going to be, you know, a guy who's going to stack up and rack up some tackles for you guys. Let's stay in that division. Let's go to the LA Chargers. Another defensive player, Derwin James, the Seminole, all right, setting the market for safeties, the highest paid player at his position, rightfully so. We had a conversation in the Toilets to Titles chat about safeties and if you should pay them. I think this guy's worth it because he's not just a safety. This dude, he's all over the place, all right, and they're able to get this contract done before they have to pay Justin Herbert, which I think helps them. They got Khalil Mack there now. They got Joey Bosa. I believe Joey Bosa's paid as well. So their defense is pretty much set now. If Kenneth Murray, if he could take a step and be what everybody expected him to be, you know, coming out of Oklahoma, that defense is going to be bad news, man. He's 4 years, $76.5 million, $42 million guaranteed. So, Joe, what are your thoughts on that deal?
I love it. I mean, I do believe that. I think when you have an elite player at any position, you want to keep him. And that means you're going to pay him a lot of money. And listen, every single position on the field in the NFL is, you know, if you have a great player, they're going to have an impact. Maybe having like a stud pass rusher or a stud left tackle, obviously a quarterback, that's on a level on of its own. But when you can have difference makers at positions like at safety, like we saw in the Legion of Boom, I'm paying those guys, you know, like
George is bluffing, guys. For sure. Right?
You know, I do like Javon Holland.
Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, that's pretty much it. So I like it. I like that he's staying with the Chargers. I'm still not used to saying Los Angeles Chargers. It doesn't sound right, but I have to catch myself sometimes. San Diego, LA. But I'm glad he's with the Chargers. He deserves it. I think he's a difference maker. He really helps. Like he's like the straw that stirs the drink. I like him a lot for the Chargers.
He's a freak, man. He is. There's like, you know, I feel like once every few years we get a defensive player in the secondary coming out of college who can just kind of do everything. And sometimes we see them go to a team. We see Isaiah Simmons go to Arizona. It takes Arizona a while to figure out like what to do with him. He's starting to come into his own, but then every now and then you see a guy like Derwin James, who's a little bit injured, you know, injury prone. He's had his hiccups, you know, in the NFL, but the team knew exactly what, like they unleash him right away. Like he's fit perfectly in LA. We see Jalen Ramsey, you know, Tyrann Mathieu, you know, he was with Arizona. He's with Kansas City, with New Orleans. You know, these guys, like they are huge for defenses. And he's also got an edge, man. All three of those players, Tyrann Mathieu, Jalen Ramsey, Derwin James, they all have an edge. They all care about winning. Go ahead, Joe.
You know, it's hard to find safeties of those caliber. It's kind of like finding like a Travis Kelce at tight end. You know, that's why I really do love the safety position. I really love the tight end position because it's really hard to find players of that caliber as opposed to say like wide receiver.
Listen to this. So we're working on our draft project. Alabama, they got 3 safeties.
Yeah, what a surprise.
Right? In the top, but they have 2 that are this style of player with Brian Branch, and Malachi Moore. You throw on the film of both of those guys, man. They can play all over the secondary. Like it's incredible to watch. So yeah, man. Malachi Moore played as a true freshman, was a stud. Had a back injury, missed the playoffs, didn't look like himself last year, but I
saw that you grabbed him.
Yeah, I had to grab him, man. So we got Nino in here. Nino, nice to see you, man. Jaquan Brisker looked good at safety before injury. Did he go down for the Bears?
Yeah, but I don't remember. I remember Nino, I think, breaking some news on that for Toilets to Titles.
I'll
And
have to
I
take a
remember
look.
commenting like, I love Brisker.
Yeah.
But I don't remember how serious
Is that,
it
dude,
was.
when I saw that draft pick for Brisker to the Bears, yes, he had thumb surgery. So he's going to start week 1.
That's
so
right.
he did have a
Yeah.
little bit of an injury.
That'd be good.
But what a Bears pick. Like,
I love Brisker.
He is like, play like a Bear. Like, that's it. He fits right in. So let's also stay in that division one more time. All right. Mecole Hardman leaves practice. I guess he got carted off. So I wasn't expecting, I hate to talk negatively about somebody, after an injury, but I think it's going to be Juju, Kelsey, Sky Moore, Valdez, Scantling, Pacheco, Potato. Rich, what are your thoughts on some of these moves in your beloved Raiders' division?
So when I initially heard about the Mecole Hardman being carted off, it's like, nice. And like I said, I hate to put ill will on anybody and everything, but news is coming out. It's not as bad as it is a groin injury and everything. So little rest and stuff like that. He should be maybe, I don't know if he'll be 100% ready for this week 1 and everything, but they're not worried about it too much. Like I said, it's not as serious as what they thought. So now, I don't know, man. Hardman, how does he play that that heel rule and everything? Does he play that rule?
No.
You just don't know and everything and stuff like that.
I don't think so.
I'm not too worried about it and stuff like that. I mean, he had his shining moments and everything, but now that Hill's not going to be there and everything, it puts a little bit different aspect on him as a player with that team.
I feel like I owe Tyreek Hill an apology because, I've been talking up Jalen Waddle so much, and I've been watching Tyreek Hill's one-on-ones. I love watching wide receivers, man. He's been putting on a clinic with his routes. Mecole Hardman, he's got that straight line speed. That's about where the conversation comparing him to Tyreek Hill, that's where it ends. I don't think he can run routes like Tyreek Hill. I don't think he's got the wiggle or the twitch like Tyreek Hill. The yak like Tyreek Hill. Like they're not even, they don't belong in the same conversation. So Let's move on to the Carolina Panthers. Robbie Anderson's dealing with a quad injury. So it seems like some of us think that could lead to more reps for Terrace Marshall, who was a player that, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. We thought Terrace Marshall was I thought he was going to come in and be another LSU guy. Any of you guys have high hopes for Terrace Marshall?
I'm hoping he has a better year this year and stuff. I've been hearing some good things from camp, but you hear that from everybody and stuff. I get it. But maybe this Robbie Anderson injury kind of gets a little bit more traction to where he does step up Marshall. But from what I'm hearing too is, look, Robbie Anderson, he's that blue collar plays. He'll be there to play week 1 and everything. He wants to be there and play and stuff like that. He'll get over this and he'll be out there.
All right. We're hearing Kayvon Thibodeau seems to be all right. So maybe crisis averted. Maybe that'd be a good thing for the Giants. It's nothing like a sigh of relief this early in the season.
Yeah, it was just on Twitter. I posted that in there. It looks like he's okay. Apparently he walked out of the tent no limp. He's on the sidelines, like joking with his friends. So, but it's funny because that was
looked ugly.
Yeah, I did. The postings that I saw, like the video postings, it was like 16 minutes ago. But only like a minute before that, like 17 minutes ago, was like, it was like doom and gloom. So I think that's true. I believe that he seems to be okay. So I don't have it up on my TV. I'm just kind of like going through Twitter. But yeah, and with like Robbie Anderson, like that guy, we see that he's got a definitive ceiling. I really hope that what's his name, Terrace Marshall, can step up and get that opportunity and really make more of it. Because Robbie Anderson, I'm not saying he's like a useless wide receiver, like Mecole Hardman, but he's this is my Hardman dig there. I'm not a big Hardman guy. But I don't know. I think like I hear Anderson kind of like talk up a little bit every year. I'm not saying like he's Tyreek Hill or anything, but I think even for me, just talk up a little too much. And I'm always like, Robbie Anderson. So, Terrace Marshall is from LSU. That is like wide receiver university along with being DB university. So I'd always have high hopes for a guy coming into his second year.
All right, let's talk about Skyler Thompson down there in Miami. That was John Lau. We had him on a lot. We usually do in the offseason. He was a guy that wasn't being very highly talked about, coming out, I believe, Kansas State. Yep, Kansas State. John Lau loved him. John Lau's metrics, he puts him in there, and the way he calculated it, it told him that this dude was going to be a dude. he looks pretty good, man. I loved how the Dolphins, they played him the complete game week 1 against Tampa Bay. He went 20 for 28 and a touchdown and played the entire game. Then last week they played him, not as many snaps. He went 9 for 10, 129 yards and a touchdown versus the Raiders. So I'm sure Rich has something to say about him. So the question someone's asking in here is, can he make a push to be quarterback 1 in Miami? I think the main thing is he can make the push to be quarterback 2 and be ready when the opportunity arises. And then maybe he'll take the world by storm. Like sometimes young quarterbacks do. I don't think coming out the gate, that's to his team, man. He's going to need an injury, to especially this year, to take that. But I do think Miami's seeing they're onto something, and they're going to hold on to this guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he's their QB2. And then they go on, maybe they trade one of their backups, get some value for it if they feel confident enough in this cat. So, Rich, when you watched Skyler Thompson versus the Raiders, what did you see?
Man, I saw a lot of flash. I mean, he looked good I didn't know who the guy was and everything. And so I was like, who is this guy? But that's about as far as I'm going to go and stuff like that. I know, look, you got Teddy Bridgewater there. They want to bring a veteran running QB in and everything. Look, it's preseason. I know maybe Lau was talking him up and everything. I don't know too much about him just from what I saw yesterday. He looked good. But like I said, it's preseason. A lot of people look good in preseason. At QB, you're going to be one of the main focuses when you're out there playing in the preseason. You're on mute.
Yes, you are. You are going to be one of the main focuses. But when you mess up and when you play bad, everybody's going to see that. And also the guys around you are usually 2s and 3s when you're a young quarterback. So the fact that you're playing good, I know you're playing against likely 2s and 3s. You also got 2s and 3s with you. So, I still think I think it's worth something. Mike or Joe, you guys got anything to say about Skyler?
I thought he looked really good. I thought, who he reminded me of is the first time I got to watch Dak Prescott come out. And I was like, man, they're giving this guy and they kept giving him the ball. And there was just something about him that made me think, man, this guy's actually probably an NFL level quarterback. And it did take an injury for Dak to get out there too. But
terrible. Yeah, that stung. I remember that entire offseason. Romo finally healthy. I remember the play. I remember being in bed watching this because that roster was built. We drafted Ezekiel Elliott to make Tony Romo's job easier. I remember they put him in versus the Seahawks. He does a spin move, starts to run, gets hit, hurts his back. Like, I just remember thinking the season was over. Because Dak also, he's not a practice player. He looked like doo-doo. It was like Jameel Showers, who looked like the backup quarterback, or Kellen Moore. And then so Romo went down, Kellen Moore went down, and when Dak got into a game, that's when everybody realized, oh, dude, this guy can play. Yeah. He was a lot different in games than in practice. And yeah, that was pretty devastating until it worked out. And then it didn't because we lost in the playoffs. All right, let's talk about Kenneth Walker. All right, he had hernia surgery. So Ian Rappaport tweeted it was a hernia surgery. Wasn't sports hernia surgery. I don't know what the difference is, but he's expected to have a full recovery by week 1. This is a guy I'm trying to get in a lot of my redraft leagues because what I've been doing is getting one running back early and getting 3 or 4 wide receivers, loading up Jalen Waddle, Cooper Kupp, Mike Williams, Juju Smith-Schuster, Kadarius Toney. I'm loading up at wide receivers because I think there's going to be a lot of points there. And then, trying to get a guy like Kenneth Walker, Dameon Pierce, Brian Robinson, even James Conner. James Conner's been falling. If he can be your RB2 and you got a guy like Kenneth Walker or Dameon Pierce or Brian Robinson or even Pacheco, kind of a little later as your third option who might eventually play themselves into a second option, I feel pretty good about that. So I'm happy to see he's expected to be there by week 1, but it's kind of discouraging just because Seattle's track record for injuries at running back, you know what I mean? And I know that it's only a coincidence, but still, sometimes you draft a player and that player gets hurt and kind of kills your fantasy team. And then you're kind of jaded, right? I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but this happens to me. I'm a little jaded towards this player and I'm not going to pick him or not going to put him on my roster. It's kind of how I feel about Seattle in general, as far as running backs go. So I am starting to get a little nervous, but from what I've seen when he was healthy, he looked very good at camp. He looks the part, and I don't know. I think he'll take the job from Rashad Penny. So what do you guys think?
So where you're drafting him at? Look, I think he went in round 7 or 8. Round 8, and that was only because the person that took him had Rashad Penny. At that value, I'm taking him all day and everything because he'll be valuable in the back half of the season when Penny does get hurt and everything. Now, Rashad Penny is one of those people that you're talking about being jaded and stuff based off of his injuries and everything. And what's funny about it is Seattle drafted him for what he did the last half of last season and stuff like that. And they hope that he's starting out this season. But Kenneth Walker and stuff like that, you get him later on. What's funny about it is sometimes you're seeing people draft Kenneth Walker before Rashad Penny in some of these drafts that you see out there and everything. But like I said, I'm taking him because I think he's going to be that running back you want to have going into the playoffs.
Love it. All right, excellent.
Yeah,
Danny Gray. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry. Go
I'm
ahead.
the same way with the Ships. Like I have that bad feeling, like that bad taste in my mouth with Penny. He's just someone I don't trust because he's got an untrustworthy track record. So
Yep.
I know people are hiring him from last year, but I just don't trust him. He's got a track record of not, keeping it going. So I definitely keep my eyes on Kenneth Walker.
Man, I'm feeling really good right now because Isaiah Likely, my guy, even though all the metrics said he wasn't going to be able to play in the NFL, is his times, his size, like, the dude can play. He's been showing it. Like him and Mark Andrews are going to be a very solid tandem at tight end. And the Baltimore Ravens love their tight ends. They're going to play them both. And then
that's the key thing.
My other guy, Danny Gray out of SMU, this dude, like, I know it's preseason, but this kid can fly. I said I compared him to Deontay Johnson when we were scouting players. We were doing the episodes talking about wide receiver class. I said Danny Gray reminds me a lot. Deontay Johnson coming out of Toledo. He's a little more explosive. I think his hands might be a little more sure. Over 2 preseason games, 4 receptions, 123 yards, 1 touchdown. And this dude, we know Ayuk and Debo, like they both can move. They can get downfield, but they're also going to be doing stuff on the crossing routes. They got kind of like that Pierre Garçon thing doing. Let's get them the ball in space. Let's get them moving while they're going across the field while linebackers trying to shadow them. Danny Gray is going to be that dude taking the top off the defense. And when no Trey Lance is going to be taking a shot to him, 2 or 3 times a game, just shooting for it. So Danny Gray, Isaiah Likely, 2 guys that are looking like rookies who are going to contribute right away. Joe, what are your thoughts on Danny Gray right now?
Well, off the top of my head, I kind of have like a tickler on every player that plays in for San Francisco. I think there's always potential to any guy who's out there. But yeah, Danny Gray, look, I liked him coming out of SMU as well. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have him. I know you were really high on him, and he definitely caught my eye. But it wasn't someone like I was seriously focused on. But I know he's someone whose name he mentioned quite a bit, and I do like him a lot. I'm looking forward to watching him progress, and I do think he's going to produce not just in preseason, but this season in the NFL for the 49ers. But I'll tell you, man, I keep an open mind with every player. It's like the exact opposite of Rashad Penny. I keep an open mind for anyone who's playing on the 49ers because they spread the ball around. One guy goes down, another guy almost seems to kind of like almost seamlessly fit in. And it's the same thing like any tight on the Baltimore Ravens. I'm young. I've got you in the back of my mind.
Right. He wasn't even their first tight end taken this year. It was the Kohler.
Oh,
right?
No, he was the second.
Yeah, it was the dude from Iowa State who was drafted at him. Go ahead, Rich.
Oh, who was it again?
Hey, Gray
Kohler,
is going to be
I believe,
great
right?
best ball
Kohler?
option.
Was it
Danny
Kohler?
Gray.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gray is going to be a great best ball option for those weeks when he does have those big blow up weeks and everything. So, look, the third receiver, but 4th, maybe 5th option on the team. But overall and stuff like that, he could prove him if injury happens. Next thing you know, we'll be talking about him being out there with the as the number 2 at least and everything. But starting out right now, look, he's a great best ball that you could get option to draft in late rounds.
Yeah, so it was Charlie Kohler. He was taken in the 4th round by the Ravens. We got Nino in here saying Tyrion Davis. I think that's how you pronounce his name, Tyrion Davis Price. Speaking of Game of Thrones, right? He is going to be a sleeper for the 49ers. And I agree. So, Nino, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it out of the back end of every one of my redraft leagues with Tyrion David Price and another 49er, like either Jeff Wilson or Trey Sermon, because basically I'm signing up. If I get 2 of those guys, I'm signing up for 4 weeks of RB1 minimum. Their guys go down, they rotate. So I'm getting 4 weeks of week 1 of running back 1 numbers if I land 2 of those guys. So I like it. So Weidemeyer, that's a guy, Nino. So I'm over here bragging about Isaiah Likely and Danny Gray, but Weidemeyer, he might be one of my misses because that dude, I think he ran like a 5 flat. So keep us posted on how he looks, how Jalen Weidemeyer looks coming out of Texas A&M. Go ahead, Joe.
And he was like, was it Weidemeyer or Wiedemeyer? He was kind of like, I think this is how much things can change. But I think if I recall correctly, he was the number 1 tight end prospect
going into the year,
going into last season. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he ran that like 5.15 or something ridiculous. But I forgot what school he was at. Was
Texas A&M.
Apparently everyone ran really slow at their pro day. So, I don't know if they were as slow. They probably weren't as slow as that, but apparently everyone was disappointed in their speed. But I don't know. The guy was doing fine in college. So I was shocked that he dropped as much as he did.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Nino's going to keep us posted. He's out here talking about him. All right. So Aaron Rodgers, it sounds like he's walking back some of his praise. I know he said, I think Dobbs dropped the ball and Rodgers was saying it was like the Dobbs. I'm sorry. That is how it's pronounced. I got to get used to it.
I like to correct. I know. He's going to get the O out of his name.
Yeah. He does. We should talk to him. So Rodgers said it was his best pass of the day and basically said, I don't know if the quote was cut to make it look more negative than it was, but the quote was essentially that if you drop balls, you just won't be out there. So, Rodgers is, he's got to show these guys like, listen, man, you got to catch the ball. You got to figure it out. If you got to come to practice an hour early and catch 1,000 balls, you got to do what you got to do. Because I don't want to have to worry about me dropping dimes and you dropping balls. So what do you guys think about Aaron Rodgers and his rookie wide receivers?
Welcome to the NFL. That's just you're getting paid a lot of money to go do these things. Go do them. And especially when he gets you gift wrap presents like that, cradle that damn ball and pull it in. It's not that hard. Let's play some football, boys. That's what you got signed up for.
What could be better what could be better than being a wide receiver and playing with Aaron Rodgers?
I love that.
That guy
drafted like 2nd or 3rd round or first round and you're playing for Aaron Rodgers. Holy cow, man! In Green Bay, which is all about football,
dude.
Totally.
As much as I dislike the Packers, you got to understand. Being a Cowboys fan, any fan, Broncos can understand this. Raiders can understand this. You get a good quarterback, and usually you go into quarterback purgatory, for like 20 years until you get another good quarterback. The Packers, I'm jealous. Because it seems like they missed on Love, but who knows how much longer Rodgers is going to play. They'll probably find somebody in a year or two who's going to replace him. But to go from Favre to Rodgers, and then also the way that Rodgers has sent us out of the playoffs the past few years. But as much as I dislike them, playing in Green Bay has got to be phenomenal. Playing for Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback has got to be phenomenal. Also, the dude's funny as shit. He is smart. He's smart, but the attitude on that guy, he is he's just very interesting to follow and to keep up with.
30 years.
Nino's saying Jordan Love looks good, man. Go ahead.
Love.
What's 30 years, Joe?
30 years of Favre and Rodgers.
Yeah.
30 years of Favre and Rodgers. Oh my gosh.
Yep. All right. So have either of you watched the Manti Te'o documentary on Netflix? I feel like Dirty Jobs ass.
I'm afraid.
He hasn't.
I actually haven't. Nope. I haven't watched it yet. I saw the preview for it today, though. That's crazy.
What a time. What a time to be alive. Catfish. Remember that show on MTV?
He's the one that started it all.
Dude, what a weird time. He's that it was a huge season for Notre Dame. He was that dude. There was this controversy. So some of you, I haven't watched it. None of us have watched it yet, but we lived it. We didn't live it he did, but we lived watching it from the news and from ESPN. And it was just such an interesting storyline. Go ahead, Joe.
My wife wants to see it because she really doesn't know. She actually does. When I brought it up, I let her know that this, Netflix series was on. And I reminded her who the guy was. And, she remembered, it being a story. But I remembered the details. And it was just, I remember feeling so awkward about all of it.
Yes,
it was so uncomfortable to read about. And it was just I didn't believe it. I almost don't want to revisit it. Ugh.
I didn't believe him. I thought he was in on it. Like I thought like he was just trying to get the spotlight, and I thought, he wanted the attention, because wasn't it like his grandmother died, and then it was his girlfriend died. There was just a lot of deaths in a short period of time. And then all of it came out that like some of this stuff was baloney. But not for nothing. Moving on to Catfish the TV show. Either of you guys ever watch that? Dude, it is great. It's phenomenal. That show. Go back and watch. Like, so the first 2 seasons were incredible. And then after that, like, this was a time when the world loved watching train wrecks. Like, this was around the time with Jersey Shore, and like we just, maybe I speak for myself. I enjoyed watching like train wrecks. Yeah. And Catfish was a mystery, but it also ultimately always ended in a trade wreck. So, but after like the second season, it seemed like it was scripted from then on, and I didn't really like it. But if you're looking to enjoy, you got a few hours to kill, go ahead, watch the TV show Catfish somewhere. I'm sure you could pull that up. Right. Go ahead.
Train wrecks like Jersey Shore, I was always okay with, because they're just like, idiots down at the Jersey Shore, drunk, 23 years old, whatever they are. But Matt Teo was like something more just, I don't know, skeevy. It just, I had to take a shower even just thinking about it. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. Somebody was bluffing. There's a lot of bluffing with
Bluffers all around, man.
Joe, you're bluffing. No, time out. You're bluffing. You told me before the show that you're going to get your pumpkin spice after the show. What is that?
I'm just recycling the cup. That's all. It's a nice big cup. This is my chilled coffee from my refrigerator. It's in here.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all. I'm not bluffing. I'll be getting my pumpkin spice after the show.
Are you recording from a Dunkin' Donuts?
I should do the show from there.
Are you live? Are you hooked into the DD Wi-Fi? Someone check his Wi-Fi.
No, check this out. I know it's him because it's the same little window, but if you look in the bottom of that quarter, see the little 2 beady eyes? Looks like a raccoon or your dog staring in through the window.
Dude, Joe's gonna panic.
Yeah, it's actually just something out of like Amityville Horror. Remember the 2 little beady eyes looking through the window?
Oh man, stop it!
I love that.
Am I the only one that sees it?
All time.
Yes.
No, I know what you're talking about. Actually, I think it's a reflection on the window from something inside. At least I hope it is.
Damn, Nino's saying Teo got PTSD from that stuff. I mean, I can see it. Couldn't feel his hands and feet during games. Sounds like anxiety for sure, or PTSD. Yeah. But man, crazy. All right, let's move on. Khalil Herbert injured and carted off the field, but then he returned to practice Sunday. He's participating. So that was a big sigh of relief, because, I still am a big proponent for David Montgomery, but I also think Khalil Herbert, he's cut from the same cloth as David Montgomery. So if David Montgomery goes down at any point or misses a game or 2, 3, Khalil Herbert's going to fit right in. Very similar running styles. So that's a big sigh of relief. Let's move on to big news in Dallas. If you guys watched this game last night, Kevontae Turpin, dude, punt return for a touchdown, kickoff return for a touchdown. This dude looks electrifying. Like, I love it. I was excited.
This is the guy from USFL?
Yes, he was the MVP.
The Generals?
Yeah. He was the MVP of the USFL. Dude, tore the roof off LA last night. And it was good because I put money on Dallas, because Dallas was getting 5 points. Maybe I'm degenerate for betting on preseason, but I just kind of felt like they were going to win this game the way they were practicing this week and the way their backups are playing. So what do you guys think about Kevontae Turpin and Dallas possibly having a dangerous special teams unit this year?
I think it stinks. I hate it.
This guy stinks Friday nights with Nate.
That's right. I'm a Giants fan, so I'm not looking forward to that type of news. That's horrible news.
No.
He reminded me a little bit of Devin Hester, man, the guy you didn't want to give the ball to. Eventually, he'll just be the guy standing there in the end zone, and they'll kick it away from him. But it'd be cool if he was one of those guys that when you accidentally make that mistake, he kicked it inbounds, and then, he took it in. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be exciting for sure, because that's changes games when you have something like that. It changes the way that the opposing special teams unit, they approach their kicks, and when the punter has to think about, or the kicker has to think about, I got to keep this away from this guy, and he's not just thinking about what else he's supposed to be doing. They make mistakes. Sometimes things happen, so it adds a dynamic. I'm looking forward to it. It's something electrifying, and if we could get a little bit of a boost in that direction, I'd be very happy. All right, Kenny Pickett.
That's like 100 points in Madden, by the way, if you can do that. If you can score a touchdown and a return and a kickoff.
Yeah, huge. That's huge. Yeah. And Kenny Pickett, quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers. We gave him a lot of grief in the Toilets to Titles chat. The dude's making a solid case for quarterback one in Pittsburgh. He went 6 for 76 and a touchdown versus Jacksonville. So what are your guys' thoughts on the Kenny Pickett experience?
I think he's playing with small hands and a big heart, man. I think he's doing really good. I think he's
small hands and a big heart.
Big heart.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Put that on the shirt right now. Exactly. I love it.
You know, he got the starting nod from Mike Tomlin right away, you know, right after they drafted him. And Tomlin's one of those guys that like kind of sticks with what he does. And so we'll see.
Fearless.
I want to see Kenny Pickett because that's a bathroom board bet for me.
Yeah. What's the bet?
That he starts week 1. That's my bet. That Kenny Pickett's quarterback week 1. So probably going to lose, but hey, here we go.
Nino's saying he's quarterback one in Pittsburgh. So we'll see. Tuesday
trending.
night, if you want to hear about the bathroom board, everybody's invited. I hope to see you all on there. We're going to be talking about all of our bathroom board bets Tuesday night. We got a lot of SHIT to discuss, and it should be a lot of fun. All right, let's move back to the LA Chargers. All right, Josh Palmer. Oop, I just did something weird with the doc. I'll undo that. Josh Palmer looks locked in. Does he have wide receiver 3? Oh, go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry. Oh, Joe is dipping, so maybe he just put his feet up. Full moon. He's on his way to Dunkin' Donuts. All right. Josh Palmer, 3 for 75 and a touchdown versus Dallas. So I thought coming out of Tennessee, he was the type of guy who maybe replaced Mike Williams. I thought they're going to move on from him, but it looks like Mike Williams is there to stay. Might be Keenan Allen, whose shoes he's going to be filling in a year or two. And I think he's going to be building that rapport with Justin Herbert this season. And I do think, like, with an offense that throws that much, we worked on projections at Toilets to Titles. We're going to be putting them up on the site soon. And I did the Chargers. And Justin Herbert, he's going to have a lot of yards. And I think just by being in that offense, as talented as Palmer is, I wouldn't be surprised if Palmer has over 800 yards. I would not be surprised. You know, between 700, 800 yards, this dude can do it. I do think he's locked in for wide receiver 3, especially because Guyton, I like Guyton as well, but Guyton's a flyer. So Guyton's going to be that guy like we discussed with Danny Gray, who, you know, they're going to be moving the ball with Allen, Williams, Palmer, and then every now and then he's going to be keeping you honest by chucking it deep to Jalen Guyton. But I think Josh Palmer is going to have more of a role, and especially if we see Mike Williams or Keenan Allen go down, because then his role is going to be, you know, is multiplied. Like he'll have a lot of work. So what do you guys think about Josh Palmer and the LA Chargers?
I like it. I think he's a good, solid number 3 on that team. I think, like you said, Guyton will go in there on those 4 wide sets and things like that. But I think he's pretty much firmly in there. I do have I've got Herbert, I've got Allen, and I've got Williams on my Frankenstein team this year.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, huge.
Palmer. Look, I thought highly of Palmer last year and everything. Look, he's a big receiver and everything. And I know a lot of people are saying, hey, yeah, he's here to replace Mike Williams. But, Coach, you're right. I think he was brought in because they were looking into the future with Keenan Allen coming to the end of his. He's had a solid career as it is. Started out with injuries the first 2-3 years. But, man, he's put on the last 5-6 seasons a solid run and everything. And I think they drafted Palmer to become that Keenan Allen once he's gone and everything. So, I like Palmer. I think he's going to be a solid 3rd. I also Chargers for projections and everything. I didn't have him projected data high and stuff like that, but I still say he had solid season and everything with the other 2. Now, if either one of them get hurt, sky's the limit for him.
Definitely pick him up. Waiver wire, week 1, Patreon, patreon.com/Toilets Titles. You want to get those waiver wire episodes, sign up for tier 2, support the show. We put it on the Patreon app, and we will be telling you which guys to go ahead and pick up. We're going to all be working together to make sure we help you make those waiver wire moves. And I know Josh Palmer, he'll be on there for sure, you know, as soon as one of those guys go down. All right. Another guy I'm trying to leave a lot of my redraft drafts with, like at the end of the draft, especially super flex leagues. Frankenstein, I did it. I'm done with my draft. I feel great about my team. I took Malik Willis with my last pick just for the upside, athletic ability. You know, he's showing some things. Someone wrote in here in the notes, he's kind of got those Mahomes-like throws. It's funny, that's what we're calling it now with the different arm angles. I remember when that was Brett Favre-like throws. Second preseason game in a row. So he went 7 for 17, 80 yards, 1 touchdown, but he went 5 for 42 on the ground. So Malik Willis is a guy that if it's super flex, I'm rostering. I'm taking him with my last pick. I'm holding on to him just for the chance that he gets an opportunity. Go ahead, Joe.
Maybe the starting quarterback in Tennessee, Tannehill. Injuries happen, and I assume Malik Willis would be the QB too. But listen, you look at like his passing numbers. He's like last night he was like 7 for 17. It wasn't like this was like Mahomes was like in terms of generating incredible yardage here. But it is exciting to see those Mahomes like traits, like the sidearm throws, the throws that other quarterbacks can't make, would probably have to throw away, but he can actually at least take a legit shot downfield. So he still has a lot of. I assume he's got a lot of growth. He still has a lot of progress to make. But I'd be excited about him. And I saw that you took him, and I think it was the final. Was it the final pick at Frankenstein?
My final pick.
I like it.
Excellent.
Yeah, Joe. It wasn't the 7 for 17. It was the 5 for 42. That's
in a
QB and everything.
But absolutely, you're right. No, Rich, you're 100% right. And I was just talking only about the passing. Like, I was the one. I actually added Malik Willis to this document to talk about, and just to start, like, there was a lot of doubt about the guy. Understandably so. There were some people who were super high on him coming into the draft, and because of his natural talent. And there's also people like myself who are like, hey, pump the brakes. Like I want to see him in action, but I'm not necessarily putting him like in the first round, which he didn't go. I think he went third round. But I am curious, definitely curious to see how he progresses in the NFL. So I think we saw
very
some good
similar
signs this preseason.
Very similar how his trajectory, like to Jalen Weidemeyer, right? Not to tie it all back together, but going into last year, Jalen Weidemeyer was that dude at tight end, and Malik Willis was that dude at quarterback. And, Sam Howell was up there as well, but there were a lot of guys who people were high on that kind of, flopped a little bit. But now it seems like Washington Commanders fans pretty excited about Sam Howell, especially the way Wentz has looked. Wentz doesn't look very good, and they should be, because they got him in the fourth round. So the price to get him wasn't too high. The pressure will not be that high. I think it just gives them an opportunity to do decent. Like it's not going to be too much pressure. The same with Willis. I think it's not going to be pushing him and forcing him in. He's got to start day one. The GM's job is on the line because they went out on a limb to get this guy. No, it's not the case. He could breathe a little bit. I think that's good for him. Another rookie, Brian Robinson. Oh, sorry, Joe, go ahead. You were going to say something else.
I was going to say, I forgot about Sam Howell. I do think he's in a good spot in Washington because he is going to have Wentz there, and at least for this year. Same thing with Tennessee and Tannehill and Malik Willis. But the thing about Sam Howell is that, I really don't know how great his ceiling is, but last year, his final year at North Carolina, he was devoid of weapons. Like all of his proven weapons, real studs, were drafted the year before. So his final year, when
De'Ami Brown and Daz Newsome, right?
Yeah, Daz Newsome, De'Ami Brown, and the two running backs too. I think
Javonte Williams and Michael Carter.
And Michael Carter. So he was like devoid of like these NFL draft-worthy, players, and that's a big shot. It's a big shot for any quarterback to take.
I think it's very cool that every time one of you guys leaves the screen, it's the full moon. I don't know if I don't know, like, did we put that in? Is that like a setting? Is that a StreamYard thing, or is that I don't know? But very, very cool. It's very on brand, especially since Frankenstein is in full swing right now. All right, Brian Robinson,
love him.
He's running with the ones. He ran with the ones Saturday night. He had 6 for 26 and a touchdown. That's 4.3 yards per carry. Antonio Gibson had 4 carries for 2 yards. That is 0.5 yards per carry. There's basically Antonio Gibson's becoming a meme. People are talking about he's with the punt team. He was with the kickoff team. He's doing this, that, and the other thing. He's doing everything. I heard somebody on the radio today say that they think, which I thought this was absurd. But again, this is somebody on the radio. So they're getting paid to do this. They said they think that the Commanders are putting him in so many different spots on the field. Like they're putting him at kick returner, punt returner. They're putting him at all these positions. No, to give him more opportunities to touch the ball. So because he's doing all this stuff, he's going to get better at holding on to the football. To me, that sounds ridiculous. Just give him the football. Just put him in the backfield. And if you're doing this in practice, just run him in practice. Run him. What is preseason for? Like, to me, the fact that came out of somebody's mouth, I couldn't believe it, but whatever. it's neither here nor there.
There's a lot
Brian
of fake
Robinson's
news
getting the
out there.
touches. Yeah, there's a lot of fake news out there.
I liked him coming out of college. I really liked Brian Robinson a lot. And he was someone I had on my eye. I was like someone who wasn't really getting, I think, the notice that I felt like he deserved. I liked his size a lot. I liked that he was Alabama. I like Alabama's running backs that they're producing for the NFL. So I really like him a lot. They got him late in the draft too. So I think Washington's had some really solid drafts over the past few years. And I really like that. I think they got a potential RB1, late in the draft. And I'm like really scared of Antonio Gibson and Sanders over in Philadelphia. Those are two guys in the only draft I've done so far is Frankenstein, but I avoided those guys. And I'm pretty much going to, unless these guys fall me big time in my future drafts coming up, I'm kind of staying away from them myself. They scare me.
Yeah, I have absolutely zero Miles Sanders. Zero. I have more Boston Scott or Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, Gainwell. Yeah.
I want nothing to do with them. All right, we're about wrapped up with this thing. We got two more notes here. Amari Cooper made Darius Slay look absolutely silly. I don't know if you guys saw this. He ran a sluggo route in joint practice. Look it up, dude. Just phenomenal. So here's breaking news. Amari Cooper can still run routes. He's still one of the best route runners in the NFL. Dude, phenomenal. He's a phenomenal route runner.
Yeah.
You cannot take that away. Very quarterback friendly. The most quarterback friendly thing you can do is get wide open. And this dude gets wide open. Does he check out here and there? Is he MIA sometimes in away games? Yes. But ultimately, like when he's on, he is absolutely on. And then another guy who knows when he's going to be on is Michael Thomas. Adam Schefter said he sat out practice today with a little bit of a hamstring issue. So that's the Michael Thomas experience right now, trying to hold your breath until week 1 and see what we get from this guy. So what are you guys' thoughts on Amari Cooper and Michael Thomas?
I love Amari Cooper. Obviously, I'm going to him play for the Raiders and everything, just like what you said, man. He is a solid receiver. Raiders, Cowboys, like he's going to be there at Cleveland too and everything. He is an awesome route runner. I love his attitude about everything. As far as Michael Thomas, man, I have shares of him where I've held on to him and everything, and I just want him to be healthy and everything. Just let's make it through this season healthy. That's all I ask for him.
Yeah, held on to him this long, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this thing up. Before we do, I want to let everybody know it would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to get to like 700 subscribers by September 1st. I think we're at like 600 and almost near 660 subs. So it's going to take a little bit. We do appreciate you. If your old lady's got a phone, she's got a YouTube, or if you're, lady and your old man has YouTube, go on their phone, subscribe to Toilets to Titles. Please help us in our search to get to 700 subscribers. I know Jared Gray, he's going to be giving away a jersey of your choice, college, NFL, whatever, when we hit 1,000 subs. We're going to be doing a giveaway live on air. So that would be greatly appreciated. Like, comment the episodes. When we're doing these episodes, so go check out Toilets to Title, our Twitter handle at Toilets to Titles, sorry, with an S at the end. You'll see the pinned tweet, and on the pinned tweet, you'll see our in-season schedule, and we'll go live. Sometimes in the off season, we have a show scheduled for a certain time. We may go live a little later. We may go live a little earlier, but in season, we are on the dot. That's our show. That's when we're going to be there. So come and be live with us. Be there. Be in the comments. Luckily tonight we had Nito in there, man. It was great chatting with him. He wasn't on air, but he's in the comments. We would like to see you in the comments, and we would like to chat with you. All right. Also, Joe's on the Twitter at JoeJ_Clark. Rich is on there at FridoMandino_FF. We got Mike D, Dirty Jobs at Dirty Jobs 21. I am on there at Coach Sheps. If you have Apple Podcasts, throw us a 5-star review. And if you want to support the show another way, patreon.com/Toilets to Titles. We just got our first level 5 tier. $20. Justin Toe, thank you, my man. That's huge. With $20, that's a one-on-one roster analysis and a 30-minute episode breaking down one of your leagues. So we're waiting for Justin to let us know. His leagues are drafting right now. He's going to let us know. So you guys listening at home, we're going to have an episode within the next few weeks talking about this dude's league, his draft, and all that good stuff. So Justin, I cannot wait to do that. I appreciate you so much for supporting the show. The first tier, it's less than a cup of coffee a month. Joe is going to Dunkin'. Right, he went this morning. He's going this evening. He's going in 5 minutes for that pumpkin spice. This $3 tier 1. It's less than that. Get you into the Discord chat. We're all live in there all the time. Tier 2 is $5 a month. Get you early access to the waiver wire episodes, which will be on the Patreon app. We work on that together as a group. All week, we have a doc. We all add names on there. We add some reasons to there. And then Joe, he's going to be running the waiver wire episodes every Monday night, right after Monday Night Football. Then he's going to send me the audio. I'm going to upload the audio to Patreon. You guys, by Tuesday morning, you're going to know who to make those waiver wire claims for. So when everybody's guessing Tuesday afternoon, you're going to be ahead of the game. We're going to tell you where to go. Tier 3 is $7.50 a month. That's one-on-one draft advice, which is pretty big right now. Also get you into Frankensteak. Also get you into the Discord chat. Also get you the waiver wire advice. Tier 10 gets you all that stuff as well. I'm sorry. Tier 4 for $10 gets you all that stuff as well. And it gets you free entry into Frankensteak next year, which is $25. So in the first month, you put in $10, you already made $15. All right. So all that stuff supports the show. We really appreciate you. Tuesday night, we're doing bathroom boards. We got tons of content coming out this week. I know we got Dollars to Deuces. We got P2P. We got Head to Head. We got IDP, college football, all that good stuff. So stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you all this week. Take care. Be good.
Take care, all.